It's Wednesday, March 30th, 2021. It's about 8:10 p.m. And I'm looking at hamsters. I'm looking into getting a winter white dwarf like this one that I have on my screen. And I'm over here at my office and I'm making this today. This is my third hamster hideout. In the past couple days I've been making hamster hideouts. Get the light on this a little better. And we got the ladder I just built. The stones are drying on there now. Glued everything on. It takes about 10 to 20 pounds of pressure to pull off one of the stones or one of the medallions. I've already done it several times in several different ones, and it's 10 to 20 pounds, which is, a hamster like that weighs about 4 or 5 ounces is never going to loosen any of these. It would be me handling it or dropping it or when cleaning it and things like that things might get bumped off, which can be easily glued back on. So the thing about these ornaments on the sides, it isn't just for decoration. They look nice and everything, but really it's very functional for the hamster to have these types of objects on the sides, which I haven't done the back here or the side of this one yet, because I just, waiting for the glue to dry, and then I can tilt it on its side and start applying some various stones and medallions and combinations that I feel are appropriate, with certain themes on some of the boxes. The boxes that I've been making over here for the past couple days, I've done a few videos on these, and let me just show you. I've done a little more work to them, a little more detail on a few things, and these here I'm keeping for Harry, the hamster I intend to be getting in a couple of days or next week. So I just want to get everything in place for him. I got the cage, a couple of cages. I did a cage tour. This over here, this clear bin, I'm going to use that, I think, as his third cage. I'm going to attach that. Cut a hole on the side and attach the tube and duct tape it on there. And this is going to be another 50 to 75 square inches of floor space to add on to the 283 I got over here on the Favola, and the 40 or 50 so square inches I got on top with the little Critter Trail Travel tote that I have hooked to the Favola with those tubes on the right. On top I have the bubble UFO shaped little plastic bubble that he can run around in. I'll put treats in there. And then over on the left is attached a little side room which I can use as a sand bath, or put some substrate in there and some Carefresh, and totally hook them up with a little vacation spot up there. And then I'm gonna have that little Critter Trail on top of this bin, which I'm gonna deck out. And so he's very close to the 450 square inches of required floor space for a hamster. I really want to do that and do it right. Take care of Harry. Let me show you this over here. I used to have something like this when I was a kid, but it was like a Dracula one. This one, though, put the coin on, and this little guy pops out. Little novelty item. Alright, so I got a lot of work to do on this hamster hideout right here. A couple more hours of pasting and gluing. But these things, they can climb up on here and do a lot of obstacles and climb all over it. Especially the ones over here that I've kind of finished. I do have a little bit more things I want to do to them, but if you take a look here at the tiles, this is like wall climbing and rock climbing. So there's all these little steps. You can grab onto the medallions. It takes a lot of pressure to pull these off. Like I'm saying, 5, 10, 15 pounds of pressure, maybe 20, 25 to pull off one of these dominoes, which is solidly locked on. I've already pulled some off and some stones off and just glued them back on just to see how much strength I would have to use. And it took, 10-20% of my strength, so maybe not that much, but it felt like pretty strong, especially on one of the dominoes. So those hook on really good. The stones aren't as secure as a domino, and these are pretty strong too, so I'm not really worried about them falling off. It's just you don't handle it roughly. So I got a lot more to do. I made this ladder today. This ladder is, I think, probably the best one. Take a look at this. It's going to go right up. Right on these stones. Very wide on the bottom. I flailed those out good. I also made it just pretty wide. This is made for a Syrian hamster. Any hamster, or even a chinchilla or something could probably climb up this thing. I'll do it in like 2 steps. But look at the back here. I got this hook, and the way I constructed it, I'm just learning as I go. I'm not watching videos yet. Once I do that, it's my mind will be, I'll have too many ideas. It will be overwhelming. But once I settle down and get a few of these made, and I'm going to watch a couple of videos and see if I can learn some new construction ideas. Yeah, look at this. Double strength. I've got it reinforced in many different areas. I got this big latch. I like these. So it really hooks in. Let's get on it right here. And it's just so solid. You cannot tip this. This is basically untippable. It would have to slide over and maybe like fall that way, but it's certainly not going to come. This is very bottom heavy. That's the key I'm learning with these ladders. They're very light with the popsicle sticks. Once you start gluing on these coins, medallions, and rocks, the beautiful semi-precious stones, we've got some rose quartz, some white quartz, some red jasper, some Indian agate, some red. I'm not sure what that is. That's a red jasper. This is a red jasper. Lots of jasper on this one, and some rose quartz. And look at this. This beautiful rose quartz stones. This is a white quartz. Oh, that may be rose. It's hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, I'm really enjoying making these. It's a lot of fun. I wish I had done this 40 years ago. I could have made a living doing this. Not just building these. I could build bird houses. I could build all kinds of things. Just popsicle sticks. I bought like 500 popsicle sticks. Let me show you. show you these bad boys. These are the small ones. I'm going to order some jumbo ones and multicolored ones, and then look out. These houses are going to look insane once I get color schemes going. I'll do ones like red, blue, mixed multicolors, greens, yellows, straight colors, mixed sometimes, some half a house, one color, half the other, upper, lower, left, right. There's no end to the combinations. My mind is racing with ideas, and I have to calm my mind. Do a little meditation, some of that today, and I have to take breaks and go out, get air, go shopping, see people, make calls, take breaks, and then I come back fresh and I start doing it again. And I got to make a lot of jewelry. Going to be doing the Grafton Flea Market, Grafton, Massachusetts, on Sunday, April 11th. Please come out, support us. My friend Angela is going to make cookies. She makes the world's greatest cookies, molasses cookies, peanut butter cookies, you name it. So she's going to be doing that. I got some other friends that are coming, going to bring some things, and maybe sell some things cheap. I'm going to be selling incense, perfume, cologne, jewelry, and hamster hideouts and hamster toys. And I'll have some other miscellaneous items as well. My pricing can't be beat. And with my pricing, I really have no competition. And there's no way I could ever possibly keep up with demand if I was to put out a website or go on Etsy or something like that. There's just no possible way. Because I know what it costs to make, and I have to sell these at a fair price. Of course, I'm going to make a profit, but you'd be surprised how much the markup is on perfumes and colognes. It's in the thousands of %, and I'm only going to have, a markup in the hundreds of %, which is nothing compared to what I could be getting. So it's a lot. We'll go over it more in future videos. I appreciate any comments in the comments below. I'll read them and I'll take your advice. I need help. I need a lot of knowledge. I'd appreciate your knowledge if you have it about things that I'm talking about that might, you might be able to add to or fix my thinking on something that might be off. I'm wide open to learning and growing and expanding and evolving. And if I'm not doing that, then I just don't feel like I'm even alive. I feel like I'm a drone. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I had many years of that. So, Hail Krishna, Radha, Goloka Drindavan, Shiva, Hanuman, and all the great plenary portions of God that we are. We're all part of God. There's no one's greater than the other. We're just on different parts of our journey. I want to do a video on the hero's journey and Joseph Campbell and the Wizard of Oz and all the connections I see in the movies and things like that. And I think I should probably wait a little while for that. But, and see if you guys would be interested in something like that. I had a nice meal tonight. I had cooked up some spaghetti and chicken. It was delish. Anyway, let me just show you this real quick. It's a little blue kid with the flute. It's very interesting. If you read this book backwards, the name of it, Damn IRS. Anyway, Bhagavatam is God and Srimad is wisdom. It's one of the most intense and amazing little books I've ever read. Apparently, Carl Sagan and some of the great astronomers of our world have read this book, and Einstein and Tesla and really all the great minds, they know about this book, but they're not talking about it. Well, they talk about it a little bit, but you got to like read their biographies and things like that. They don't come out publicly, at least from what I've ever heard, and endorse this literature. But apparently they read it, they base their scientific theories on these books. This book here will tell you how the universe was created, how UFOs, how these, they're called vimanas, are made, and the propulsion systems, and they've actually used this literature to, I guess NASA and stuff has looked into all this, and they've used it to try to make and duplicate some kind of technology like that. This goes a lot deeper. I'm just scratching the surface, really. I really just scratching the surface here. It's very complex, and it's very deep, and it's very ancient, and it's not part of our culture, so it's just not looked at, thought about, or understood, or accepted. But when top people in the world are looking at it, and they're going to India, and they have gurus, and they're practicing these techniques, and it's being brought back here and polished up, and they call it mindfulness, and they write books, and they don't mention where this comes from, and it comes from the Buddha, it comes from the Vedas, the Hindu literature, stuff from the Near East, the Far East, the Tao Te Ching. We've got Stoicism, we've got Christianity, we've got all these things that have blended and utilized this knowledge that has been passed on to us, and well, not to the common people, but it's been passed on to people that are guardians of that knowledge, and we need to respect it and approach it very cautiously and respectfully at all times. And we can learn so much from the ancient past and who we are and how we got here. And the narrative we've been given is a lot of hocus pocus when you really look at it. But that's a long story, and that's controversial, and that's not what this channel's about. This channel's about hamsters and about houses, building hamster hideouts, and expanding our knowledge of building, and so that's what we're going to do. And I just want to show you one last time. This one here is the first one I ever made, and it's almost done. I got a few more things I want to add to it. It's pretty big. And it's got a lot of little details, and I'm still going to add a few more. This obelisk is nice. It's sodalite, so they're pretty good. Probably take about 5 pounds of pressure to snap it off. Easily glue back on. No hamster is going to be able to break that. I doubt it. Could impale himself, though. It's not that pointy. I'll dull it a little with a file before I put it in his cage, when I get him. So look at this back wall. I'm proud of this back wall. I think he's going to love it, because look at all the little ridges and things he can grab onto and pull himself around and do all kinds of stuff. I want to have an active, happy, busy hamster with lots of missions. He's not going to have a food bowl. It's going to be scatter fed. It's going to be all scattered in there. I'll have a few places where I'll put the treats and hide him, and he'll figure it out. And he's got to have a lot of work to do, missions, toys, new things to explore, changing the cage around, except for like maybe where the potty is in the sand bath. So I'll always leave those in the same spot. And the wheel's in there, you just can't even see it. It's that night angel. It's in the center of the cage. It's an 8.6-inch wheel. It's the best wheel you can get, basically, as good as any wheel that's ever been made in the history of rodent wheels. A Woden wheel or something like that is only could compare with that. I've never had a Woden wheel. I've never had a good wheel. I always had cheap wheels, and you know how it was. Back in the day, we didn't know, and they ran on them and it seemed okay, but We didn't know about the bendy back, and we didn't know about the bumblefoot. You know, from certain types of wheels, they can get bumblefoot. Like if it's a metal wheel with the little holes in it, the mesh wheels, those are terrible. Terrible. And poor Harry's running on that thing at PetSmart right now. He's over there. I don't know, you know, I haven't been over there in a few weeks, but there's winter whites going in and out of there all the time. And so when I go in there next week or later this week or on the weekend to get him, you know, he's probably going to be a few months old. You know, maybe like I'm going to get one that's kind of young, one that's like a year and a half old and it's going to live 6 months. They only live 2 years. So I want to get a younger one that's maybe like 6 months old, and he's probably living over at that PetSmart or at the mill, wherever they get him from, running on these horrible wheels, living with a bunch of other hamsters that may be hostile, and fighting over the wheel, fighting over food, and not having enough substrate to burrow in proper. And all these issues, you know, that are going on at the pet stores. It's not easy to care for hundreds of animals, and the employees and underpaid and overworked, and the animals suffer the most. So he's in there somewhere, and he's alive, his heart's beating, and he has no idea that he's going to be getting me for his owner very soon. And I'm going to rescue him and get him out of there and give him a good life over here in this much bigger cage, and then the little cage, and then the medium cage over here. So I'm going to set that all up. It'll take me probably an hour to do everything, 2 hours. And then I'll do a video on that and show you everything, when it's set up. And then the day I get Harry, I'll make a video. And you'll meet him, and I'll meet him on the same day. And he's going to have these in his cage. This here I'm going to sell at the flea market. It's not done yet. I've been working on this all day. I put probably 4 or 5 hours into this already, and taking my time doing other things as well. Taking breaks, going out, coming back, working on it some more, letting it dry, come back, work on it some more. But it's pretty dry now. I can pick it up. I can handle it. It's not fully dry, but it takes about 24 hours for these to fully dry with this type of glue I have. So I'm definitely going to get some hot glue, hot gun, glue gun. I never had one of those. I've never used one of those. Looking forward to learning about that, learning about glue guns and other tools that I need to do more building, because all I have is these sticks and these tiles. I got 100 tiles. I got 100 of these. They're 1 by 2. Oh, it was like 15 bucks or something, 12 bucks. I don't know, I forget. And these were like 10 bucks, 12 bucks, or 500 of these little thin popsicle sticks. And then I used the Aleene's glue. It smells nice. It's non-toxic. And all I have is a couple of tools, like these tweezers. These are lifesavers for a million things. Everything in life, you need these. These big tweezers. I've got 2 or 3 pairs that come with different things that I've bought. And then these tools all came with the things I've bought. And for like jewelry, they always give you these little pliers. And a couple different kinds I got for wire wrapping. I'll learn how to do that. I've already started learning and did one wire wrap. I wrapped a stone. It's right up there. It's hanging on the door frame to the right of the red guitar bag. Just hone in with your phone. I don't know if you can do that. You can do that with a picture. I don't know if you can do that with a video. Some phones you probably can. Oh, I just did it. I did it while I'm recording. So many things you can do. I don't even know half of it. I know nothing. I'm actually pretty ignorant about a lot of things, but other things I've spent a lot of time on, like chess, an inordinate amount of time studying chess, playing chess, chess tournaments, talking about chess, just studying it. Today is a momentous day in our world. I'm going to tell you this story. It just happened a few hours ago. The world chess champion was sitting on a wall in Germany meditating, and he was approached by a man in a hood that he didn't know. And the man challenged him to a chess game and said that if he lost the game, he would give Magnus $1 million to any charity Magnus wanted. And that it was either $1 million or $100,000. I think it was $100,000. And if Magnus won, the guy would give him $100,000 for any charity, or $1 million. But if Magnus lost, he would have to resign as the chess champion of the world. Magnus agreed. They went to a park. They played a game. I watched the game. On a video, it was recreated, and they went over the game on the chess channel that was covering this, and they had the moves, so they were able to recreate the game. And with a queen sacrifice, this guy Max Deutsch, he's a genius, and he played Magnus before and lost to him about 3 years ago after only studying the game of chess for 30 days. And he lost bad. But today, he took off the hood just before delivering the checkmate and checkmated Magnus Carlsen. And Magnus has resigned as the chess champion of the world. And Max Deutsch, today, March 31st, 2021, has been crowned king of the chess world and will face the winner of the candidates cycle, which will end in April. And I think he's going to face this guy, MVP, or Maxime Lagrave, ML. I don't know. I can't remember his name. They got some tough names, and these chess masters, some of them. Anyway, we got some top talent in the world, and this guy Max Deutsch is going to be facing the best players in the world, and I have no doubt Magnus will be back to go through the candidates cycle for the next round in 3 years, and probably beat everybody to get back to face Max Deutsch for the world title, which will be an official sanctioned world title tournament, whereas this off game in the park was just, he's just keeping his word and resigning as the world champion because he's going to keep his word, and that's honorable. Magnus Carlsen is the lord of the board. I drew this picture, and then I downloaded a photo of him and pasted it on, and did that about 6 months ago. And today, Magnus has been dethroned. He is no longer the chess champion of the world. Max Deutsch. Hail Max Deutsch. He's been studying the game incessantly for the last 3.5 years, preparing himself to face Magnus, and he approached him in a very unique way with the hoodie, not announcing who he was, and offering this $1 million or $100,000, and Magnus accepted. And is living up to his word because Magnus was checkmated in one of the most unbelievable games and sacrifices in the history of chess. And I'm not the only one saying that. Some top grandmasters are saying that. This is probably the greatest queen sacrifice in history. And it will not be forgotten. This will be recorded in the annals of our universe for all eternity. It's in the Akashic Records. It's official. All right, my friends, hail the Lord of the Board, Magnus Carlsen, who's been dethroned, and the new Lord of the Board, Max Deutsch. I'm going to have to make an adjustment, make a new one, and put Max up there. Hail Magnus, hail Max, hail Krishna. Praise the light, love yourself, be kind.